Hi all, welcome to the video. In this video, we'll look at how we can get the position of the match string in a text field. So what this basically means is, let's say I have a text field and I want to match a certain pattern. I want to identify whether the text field has, let's say, a certain keyword. Then at certain times, I am also interested to know what was the position of the match string. We'll get to that through a very simple illustration. So for that, I have taken again the example of the different therapies or different drugs that a particular patient is given by a physician. So for an example, patient 1 is given paracetamol as the first line of therapy, brufen as the second line of therapy, and dolo 100 milligram as the third line of therapy. So let's say if I am interested in dolo, so for patient 1, dolo is given as a third line of therapy. For patient 2, dolo is given as a first line of therapy, and let's say for patient 3 it is not given. Just to make it a little more inclusive, let me also add for patient 1, let me add another line of therapy, which is the fourth line of therapy, and this is also dolo. So but for patient 1, when was it first introduced? Dolo was introduced as the third line of therapy, to start with. So how we can basically get 3, 1 and 0 for this particular data set? So we'll start again. Again, if you are following the previous video, you would know that I am basically using sapply in conjunction with, just a second, okay, yeah, sapply, and I am using sapply on therapy, and then I am writing a custom function. Okay, so the first thing is we have to break the string, so we will use split of x using plus sign, and then even if you split the string, it will still be a list, so we'll convert it into a vector. So let me assign it to x1. Once we have x1, we need to trim the leading and trailing spaces. We'll assign it to x2. So now our string is clean. We will basically try to detect of okay, so in the previous videos we also looked at absolute and loose matches. So string detect will help us perform loose matches, because you see dolo is present as a combination as well as standalone, so we want to identify both. We should be able to detect both. So I have to detect in x2, I have to detect before that, let me do a 2 lower, so that everything is in lower cases. So here I can then use dolo. So it will basically give me true false. So which will give me the position where x3 is true, and I want to get the first position. So this will basically give me the position, and I will then return false. We can basically check it out. We can use this, and let's say this is x. Okay, so if I run this, so basically see x1 is essentially broken down text, but it has leading and trailing spaces, so we'll trim it down to create x2. There is no function. Okay, is there a 2 lower? Okay, yeah, so there is a 2 lower. So now you see leading and trailing spaces is gone, as well as everything is converted into a lower case. Now we are trying to detect presence of dolo text. So we see for this particular text, we know that in the third and the fourth position there is presence of dolo text. So it gives me true and false in third and fourth. Now I basically want to get this position and get first such position. So you see it gives me 3. Now if I just, let's say, let me comment it out, let me comment out x, and now let me run the entire thing. So you see I have got the LOT number, which is third for patient 1, first for patient 2, and there is none for patient 3. So in this example, we saw we can detect a keyword or a pattern in a particular string field, and then we can determine which position was a match obtained. I hope this video was useful to you. Do subscribe and comment against these videos if you really like them and if you think it is helpful to you.